I apologize in advance. The eating you're about to see will not be pretty.
Chris, I love Garfield. This is such a fun movie, man.
Thanks, Joe.
I can't wait for my little girl to see this.
Oh,
it's
man.
so much fun. You know, the older I get, the more relatable Garfield feels to me. I hate Mondays. I like eating a lot. You know what I mean? But he has such a universal, he has so many universal problems.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your early experiences watching Garfield when you were younger?
Yeah, sure. I mean, my earliest experience is the comic strip.
Sure.
And as a kid, I loved Garfield. I loved Odie. My cousin named his dog Odie. I mean, Garfield is like this ubiquitous tile in the mosaic of every childhood of every person that was, you know, from 1978 on. It's the most widely circulated comic strip in the world. And yeah, there are these themes, like you said, as you get older, you start to really understand what Garfield, the real appeal, is that he was a rebel and a kind of an iconoclast, because he was a guy in a world that tells you got to get up, put your nose to the grindstone, get after it, eat right, be fit, be fitness. He was like, no, F all that. I don't like Monday. I'm gonna eat what I want. I don't want to work. I'm gonna be sarcastic. And he kind of gave a voice to people in the working class who were like, this 40 hours a week thing is tough. You know what I mean? So I think that's why adults liked him so much, and I think kids liked him because he's a big orange cat.
Exactly. Now, this movie is about a lazy, pampered, self-centered indoor cat who doesn't like stepping out of his comfort zone, but is forced to go on this crazy fun adventure. Can you talk about the growth Garfield goes throughout this journey?
That's right, yeah. Garfield has an understanding of who his biological father is by the end of this film that's different from who he thinks he is at the beginning of the film. So the growth is really him going from this perfectly pampered life as an indoor cat, him and Odie going on this epic outdoor adventure, this hilarious high stakes heist. It's a great, you know, heist action adventure movie, but the heart of it is coming to a deeper understanding that our parents may not be who we thought they were in the best way.
Absolutely. Now, Garfield creator Jim Davis said this about you. Chris has a great attitude in his voice and incredible timing. He rated you a 10 out of 10. What does that mean coming from Jim, and what did you want to bring to the role of Garfield that wasn't on the page?
I'm just gonna bask in that for a second. Jim Davis signed off. This is the first I've heard that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's iconic, right?
That's beautiful.
That's great.
That makes me feel really proud. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's like shocking to think that he would even know who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, it's Jim Davis. I remember seeing him in the bottom of every cartoon, of every Garfield comic strip as a kid. That's cool.
Yeah,
I forgot the question. What was the question?
What did you want to bring to the role of Garfield that wouldn't be on the page?
Well, I think, you know, Mark Dindal, our director, was really adamant that he heard my voice coming out of Garfield's mouth before he ever even had a conversation with me. He knew who he wanted this character to be. He knew what he wanted him to sound like. And in that regard, I was like, that would be a note you could give to another actor, say sound just like Chris Pratt.
Sure.
Or you could just tell me, Chris, just show up. Share yourself, share your heart, share your voice, share your spirit with this character. And that's what I did in that regard. It really took the pressure off. I didn't feel like I had to, you know, recreate what had been done before. I just needed to be present and be there, and I was, and I'm grateful.
We meet, first of all, this is full of amazing actors in this film.
Yeah.
We meet a new character named Vic, played by Samuel L. Jackson. He's great as Vic. What can you tell us about Vic without giving anything away?
Yeah, well, he's a scruffy street cat, you know, and he's on the run. And you know, there's a reason Garfield was raised by John.
Sure.
Because as we'll learn very early in the film, he's kind of an abandoned street cat that gets picked up by by John and given his forever home, where he becomes incredibly spoiled and pampered. And so we find out the whole story. What happened? How did that happen? And what does this character mean to Garfield, his biological father? And so they get swept up on this high stakes, hilarious heist, and yeah, he gets to learn something about his father that he didn't quite know.
That's amazing. Now, switching gears for a second into another iconic voice that you've done is Mario. Super Mario Brothers really introduced Mario to this world and established characters like Bowser, Donkey Kong, and Princess Peach.
Yes.
With him being established hero in this world, what would you like to explore with the relationships with Princess Peach and Donkey Kong in the sequels?
Oh man, I mean, there's so much to explore. There's a decade's worth of movies to explore. Not only with Mario and Peach and Donkey Kong and Luigi and Bowser and Yoshi and all, you know, that was teased at the end. But there's also like, it just gets me so excited. I was such a Nintendo head as growing up.
Same.
So like just thinking about how like everything from Legend of Zelda and like the entire Nintendo cinematic universe could be created and what that could look like. All of these characters that I love. I mean, man, there's really no limit. We could talk about it for hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's crazy.
That's incredible. Now,
Think about the worlds. Think of like Super Mario, and then Super Mario Brothers, and Super Mario Bros. 2, then Super Mario Bros. 3, then Mario World, and like, you know.
what was your favorite Mario game?
Classically, probably 1, right? But I think Super Mario 2, I spent the most amount of time trying to beat.
Right.
Yeah. And Super Mario Brothers 3.
3
Those
was
two. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Now, last question I have for you. This is an updated version of Garfield for 2024, where he has a lot of the traits we remember, but there's a lot of new stuff in his backstory that we learn. What excited you the most about telling Garfield's origin story?
Well, I think it's because it's fresh and it's new. I mean, people don't know who Garfield is. You can't really dive deeply into the emotional needs of a character in a comic strip.
Sure.
If you're gonna make a 90-minute movie, you need to understand who this guy is. And to know that, you need to know who the characters are in his life that have had a profound impact on him. You need to understand kind of like what the drama would be. And that's what got me excited, is like, who is Vic? Who is his father? What's his origin story? How is Cat? Who is Cat? What is Cat? You know, that's what got me excited, is just diving deeper.
Sure.
What's beneath the surface?
Well, look, man, I can't wait for folks to see this. It was so much fun. And this is Garfield's first animated movie ever. I can't wait.
Thank you. Thanks so much, brother.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Whoa, you are a hungry little guy.